on Cronkite News, Sky Harbor Airport has a new accessibility service. We tell you what it means for travelers.
Also, we take a look at the growing mental health crisis in schools and how it's not just students being affected.
Plus, temperatures continue to skyrocket across the state with deadly consequences.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Nikita Chaturvedi.
And I'm Luke Chatham. Thank you for joining us. In the face of rising temperatures across the country, President Biden spoke this afternoon about the action he plans to take on climate change. His initiatives include $2.3 billion in funding to help communities prepare for disasters, as well as money for lower-income families to cover heating and cooling costs. Biden also called out people who have criticized the moves on climate change when inflation is such a big problem.
As president, I have a responsibility to act with urgency and resolve when our nation faces clear and present dangers. And that's what climate change is about.
One report says more than a third of heat-related deaths are due to global warming. Arizona, it seems, may be feeling this trend. Rachel Fortunato tells us about new numbers that show Arizona's heat is deadlier than ever.
Phoenix is one of the cities seeing higher heat earlier in the year and longer-lasting heat waves. Scientists blame this on global warming. Unfortunately, this leads to more heat fatalities. Data from the Maricopa County Department of Health shows Arizona has hit a half-year record for heat-related deaths. So far this year, there have been 17 heat-associated fatalities and over 126 are under investigation. Over 70% of those deaths involve people who were outdoors. One possible reason for the surge in deaths could be the increasing number of people living unsheltered. According to the annual point-in-time count for Maricopa County, the number of unsheltered people rose 34% from 2020 to 2022. Heat is the #1 weather-related cause of death for people in Arizona. Officials urge people to find hydration and cooling stations. You can find those stations at the Heat Relief Network website listed at the bottom of your screen. In Phoenix, Rachel Fortunato, Cronkite News.
Some Republicans are suffering consequences for testifying in the January 6 committee hearings, and Arizona Speaker of the House Rusty Bowers is not immune. The Arizona State Republican Executive Committee has officially censured Bowers. Committee Chairwoman Kelly Ward tweeted, quote, "He is no longer a Republican in good standing, and we call on Republicans to replace him at the ballot box in the August primary." Bowers had testified to the January 6 committee about former President Trump and Rudy Giuliani, encouraging him to put forward fake Trump electors from Arizona. The next committee hearing is Thursday, July 21st, and it will be carried live here on Arizona PBS starting 3 p.m.
A bipartisan group of U.S. senators announced 2 proposals designed to close the loopholes in election law. The group, led by Democratic Senator Joe Manchin and Republican Senator Susan Collins, also includes Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema. The first bill aims to clarify the vice president's role in counting electoral votes, make it harder for Congress to object to the votes, and prevent fake electors from interfering. The second bill is geared toward protecting election workers. It would also give the Postal Service guidance for mail-in ballots.
Earlier this month, Attorney General Mark Brnovich filed to make a 1901 abortion ban the law of the land. Today, Planned Parenthood Arizona responded. Planned Parenthood Arizona has filed a court motion to try and stop the 1901 ban from taking effect. In a statement released today, the president of Planned Parenthood Arizona, Brittney Fontenot, said, quote, "Attorney General Brnovich is playing politics at the expense of Arizonans' lives, and it's not just despicable and legally unfounded, it's dangerous." She also noted that a majority of Arizonans are in favor of legalized abortion and said Planned Parenthood will continue to fight against restrictions. As of this afternoon, Brnovich has yet to issue comment on the motion.
There's a growing mental health crisis in schools, but not just among students. Studies show teachers are feeling more stressed out and anxious, and many are leaving the field. Cronkite News health reporter Milan Andrade takes a closer look at the problem and how one Arizona teacher is dealing with it.
COVID-19 changed the dynamic of the classroom for students and teachers. A recent RAND report finds 73% of teachers feel frequent job-related stress compared with 35% of other working adults. 28% experience symptoms of depression, and 59% of teachers report burnout, with higher rates among teachers of color. For one Arizona educator, low pay and lack of support has driven her to find another job out of state. Even before the pandemic, teachers were overworked and underpaid, but now some, like Michelle Caparati, have had enough. After working in Arizona for more than 2 decades, she's taken a job in California with better pay and benefits. She'll fly back and forth to see her family, including a son with special needs.
I sometimes have to decide, how sick is my kid? Is this, $75 copay sick? Or is this something I can manage at home? Which no parent should really have to think about, especially someone who's dedicated their life to education.
Caparati, who taught in the Chandler Unified School District, said the pandemic made a tough situation even worse. She recalls what happened when some districts didn't immediately return to in-person learning.
Teachers suddenly became villainized, and we became the reason why schools weren't opening. And if we had any opposition to schools opening, if you go back and watch school board meetings, the things that were said to me, the things that were said to my peers, is appalling.
Burnout is a growing crisis among America's teachers. A report by the National Education Association shows that 55% of teachers are considering leaving the field earlier than they had planned. The numbers are even higher among Black and Hispanic teachers.
There is data showing that teachers are increasingly more stressed. They are leaving the profession. People are talking about the mass exodus of educators from the field. People are taking on second and third jobs. They are having to travel huge distances just to get, to secure jobs where they can financially make do.
In Arizona, Caparati made about $60,000 a year. She'll be making double that in California. Her husband will stay behind to take care of their son, Christopher, while he finishes high school here in Arizona.
Overall, Castile is a perfect fit for me. I get to roam the hallways. It's just perfect for me.
Yeah, so you like your school.
Yeah.
So that's why mom's gonna fly and you're gonna stay here. So
yeah, but I also have dad.
And you have your dad, right?
Yeah.
This crisis is having ripple effects across the state. The Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association says over 900 teachers have resigned this school year, and 30% of teaching positions are unfilled. At the Google touchscreen, Milan Andrade, Cronkite News.
After the break, we talk to you about airport accessibility and what Sky Harbor is doing to make the airport more convenient for those who need it.
Plus, the story of a local volleyball coach who is breaking barriers for women in high school sports.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything. History is today.
Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder.
Almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery. I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'ma kick down every single door. I'ma show you what you never ever seen before. So come show you, I'ma show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
More than 150,000 travelers move through Sky Harbor Airport on a daily basis, and navigating the airport can be daunting and stressful.
Recently, Sky Harbor Airport implemented a new service for the blind and visually impaired to help take away some of the stress of traveling. I took a look at what this service offers. For the blind and visually impaired, navigating the airport usually means having someone by your side.
There was always miscommunication or misunderstanding and the awkwardness of having somebody else with you.
Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport partnered with the Foundation for Blind Children to introduce the service IRA to make traveling easier.
This service with people without sight just takes away one of those elements of the anxiety. It really makes it easier for them to get through the airport, get to their flight, understand where they're going, and actually just get there on time.
IRA, a free app available to download on your smartphone, uses a live stream to help the user navigate the airport through descriptive audio.
Essentially, it connects you with one of these visual interpreters, and they can see your surroundings.
Through the app, the visual interpreter can help them read signs and makes it easier to get their tickets from the kiosk.
And so now that we have this awesome technology that allows people with visual impairments to navigate the airport like a sighted peer would, independently, quickly, and safely.
Making a once daunting experience more fun.
The biggest benefit of IRA is freedom. This is going to allow people who would otherwise feel intimidated to travel, feel intimidated to go places they've always wanted to go, that relieves that intimidation, that relieves that one last obstacle.
Although IRA is a monthly subscription service, people who use the app at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport can access it for free. Next, let's turn it over to Connor Cox in the Cronkite Weather Center and see if we might take a trip to escape the heat this week.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're having an excellent day so far. Let's take a look at the Futurecast and see what's going on the West Coast. As we can see here, we have some clouds kind of rolling around our great state, and it's just dipping in just a tad for a little bit of cloud cover on these hot upcoming days. So let's dive into those hot upcoming days. In the valley, 113, 103 in Sedona, absolutely nuts, guys. 106 in Tucson, the whole state is just hot. So let's take a closer look into the valley. 113 in Ahwatukee, 113 in PV. Scottsdale is getting a little cooler at 112, and then as you go west, you're going to get up to 114 in Buckeye and Goodyear. So what does this mean tonight, guys? It is still hot. 109 right about now. It's going to dip down just a tad here about 10 p.m., but not too much because we're still in the triple digits. 102, ladies and gentlemen. And then going into our 8-day forecast, it is going to be scorching. 115 on Friday. But hopefully this cloud cover will roll through and cool us down to a nice 98 on Tuesday. For the last time in the Cronkite Weather Center, Connor Cox.
I'm Ian Sachs. Coming up after the break, all of your Cronkite Sports Report. The Mercury have a busy week with their matchup against the Seattle Storm, and with the ESPYs underway, we have all of your Mercury news next.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure. And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'm kicked out every single thought. I'ma show you what you never ever seen before. So control you, I'ma show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the balance.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ian Sachs. The 2022 MLB All-Star Game finished up yesterday, and one Arizona Diamondbacks player had a unique journey to Dodger Stadium for his All-Star debut. Joe Mantiply has made appearances for minor league and major league teams and even went through the common Tommy John baseball surgery before heading to the D-backs in 2021. The New York Mets originally drafted him out of high school in the 48th round of the 2009 MLB draft, but he decided to take his talents to Virginia Tech instead. As the lone Diamondbacks representative at the All-Star Game, Mantiply threw a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. And in other MLB news, ASU had 6 players selected in the draft this year. It's the most Sun Devils drafted since 2015 when they had 9 players taken. Outfielder Joe Lampe was the first Sun Devil selected. The Cleveland Guardians picked him 92nd overall. And as the Phoenix Mercury gear up for its showdown with the Seattle Storm this Friday, there are several storylines surrounding this game. For starters, it's the return of Tina Charles to the Valley. The former MVP started all 16 games she played for the Mercury and averaged 17.3 points per game before she and the team agreed to a contract divorce back in June. She then signed with the Storm. And this matchup also marks the final regular season meeting between Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. Mercury forward Rashawn DeGray, who began this season with Seattle, relishes the opportunity to play with both legends in the same season.
I really had the opportunity to play with Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. And not many people can say that outside of Tina Charles. So alone for me, I feel like that's history for me, but just to watch them and just for her to just like play against her best friend, which everybody's been waiting for. Seattle versus Phoenix is definitely one of the most historical matchups of this year.
But before the Mercury battle the Storm on Friday, they have a chance to win a few awards tonight at the ESPYs. Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diamond DeShields could secure some of that hardware. Diggins-Smith, who just received the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week award, is nominated for Best WNBA Player. DeShields is nominated for Best Comeback Athlete after going through multiple eye surgeries and a tumor removal that caused her to relearn how to walk. And as we continue celebrating the anniversary of Title IX this summer, we head to Tucson, where a high school boys volleyball team is finding success year after year. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Blank showcases the woman behind the program.
Come on, you gotta do something more aggressive. Yes, David! Yes!
In 2015, Lindsay Spivey made history at Marana Mountain View High School, becoming the first woman to lead the Lions boys volleyball program.
My managers at the time for the girls team were boys who played in the program, and they said, "Coach, our coach is leaving. We need someone to take over the program. Will you do it?" I said, "Okay, sure." So opportunity was there.
Before Mountain View, Spivey had no experience coaching boys and didn't know what to expect from her new players.
I didn't really know how they would perceive me, you know, walking in day one when I'm not even 10 years older than some of those seniors. So didn't quite know how they'd act or if they'd respect me, but they did. I mean, it was almost an immediate respect and relationship.
Over her 7+ years here at Mountain View, Spivey has created a winning culture, including the first ever state title appearance in program history back in 2019. In that same year, she was awarded the Arizona Boys Volleyball Coach of the Year award.
It felt amazing, and Really, any kind of recognition that they get lifts me up, and that makes me feel so good. So just kind of getting that and then having them recognize it, and they were the ones who texted me saying, "Coach, you got the award." It was the best feeling.
She's really taking these kids to another level. She's able to get the kids to buy into her program and to really work as a cohesive unit.
She has really built in respect and discipline into this program. Having to hold a certain character to show like that Mountain View is like a good program and like we're good people.
Since Spivey took over nearly 8 years ago, the Lions boys volleyball program has grown tremendously.
When I first got here, we barely had enough for 2 teams. So a JV and a varsity. Now we have a ton of athletes who are playing club ball. We have 3 almost fully staffed teams, and we've made it to state every year.
With the program Spivey has helped build, she feels like she's found a home.
When I stop coaching, I'll probably just be done. I don't think I'll school hop. I'm here because of them. They're amazing. I feel like the volleyball program just attracts the best kids from Mountain View.
It's like developing a family, because we say it out there too and in here that we're a family, and that's what it becomes. She's an amazing coach. I wouldn't want anyone else.
In Tucson, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
Wow, what a great story. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Luke.
After the break, we take you to Georgetown and tell you about a new mural and how Brittney Griner made it up there.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
In the 5 months that Phoenix Mercury star Brittney Griner has been held in Russia on a drug charge, her cause has appeared on signs, social media, and at WNBA games. And as Cronkite News reporter Daisy Gonzalez-Perez tells us from our Washington bureau, today it became part of a mural in the Georgetown section of Washington, D.C.
Brittney Griner may not have been the focus at today's unveiling of the Bring Them Home mural, but it was hard to miss her importance to the cause.
Griner's face and her USA jersey are the first images you see on this mural of 18 Americans who are currently being held hostage or wrongfully detained overseas.
As the artist, when I was receiving these pictures, it was the most intense feeling to look at those images and put them next to one another and see the story of these lives and these families over time play out as I move the images around on the wall.
Isaac Campbell spent the last several months creating the mural that was unveiled today. It depicts just some of the 64 Americans currently being held abroad and aims to keep a focus on their plight. Players for the WNBA's New York Liberty showed up for today's unveiling, and Jonathan Franks, the spokesperson for the families whose loved ones are shown on the wall, said Washington Mystics players came out yesterday to help finish Griner's portion of the mural.
Tasha Cloud and Elizabeth Williams came yesterday, and it was just really nice of them to come out and participate. The players helped put Brittney's face on the wall, and it was a really cool thing to have.
The mural, which fills the entire wall of a Georgetown alley, was painstakingly created out of flour, wheat, and paper to create the stark black and white images. Family members and other supporters came together to help put the pieces of the mural together.
It is not just about a mural. It's about the act of creating something together collaboratively, which is what this organization has been doing to bring these families together, to share in their grief and suffering, and to use the tools that they have available to work to bring each other's family home.
Griner's family was not on hand to help complete her part of the mural, but Franks did say they were thrilled by the project.
We've been working in close coordination with her team, her agent, the WNBA-PA. They've been incredible. And we're just very hopeful that this will play a part in helping Brittney get home.
The mural is not permanent because of construction. It may take a year or so before it fades or washes off, by which time advocates hope that the people on this wall are brought back home safely. In Washington, Daisy Gonzalez-Perez, Cronkite News.
The mural was unveiled just one day after President Joe Biden signed an executive order aimed at improving information sharing with the families of hostages and increasing sanctions on those who wrongly detain Americans.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.